we use oil in our plastic packaging. And I remember you reminded me of this memory I had when I was 17, where I was just in my local, given my living situation at the time, I was in my local comic book store, and on the radio they said about, well, we could take some of the oil out of the plastics and reuse it at
Uh,
the time. Yeah.
yeah. So that's a process I believe is called pyrolysis, which is, but there are ways to get the oil out of plastic. However, it's the issue with a lot of these things is cost effectiveness. The oil is only worth X amount on the market, and it's quite a complicated and expensive process. So it's trying to find the economic middle ground between you want to reuse, recycle, take care of the planet, take care of people, but at the same time, it's a lot of money, a lot of energy to get that oil out from the plastic. So I think a lot of the push now, instead of doing that, is to less single-use plastic. So you don't have to worry about that plastic going to landfill sort of straight away, and less use of plastic in general, and then more sustainable types of plastic. So you can have plant-based polymers which are more biodegradable. So I think hemp's a big one for that, and the sort of transitioning over to that really.
Yeah, because you reminded me, I can't remember if this was an actual product or concept, but we've had this problem in the oceans for the longest time with you chuck plastic, like you get a case of like alcohol beers, and it's not like in your typical energy drink cases where you got the cardboard boxes and plastic wrapped around it. Now you got like the six at all. Well, there was I remember seeing this idea where it's not technically biodegradable, but turtles could eat them if they wanted to as a source of food.
Um, ye I'm, I'll be honest, I can't say I know a whole lot about that, but there have been quite interesting work on making or like trying to genetically engineer bacteria or engineer plastic. So there's two ways. So one's trying to genetically engineer bacteria that can break down the plastics and make them biodegradable. There's quite a few interesting studies on that. I actually read a bit about it for my personal statement. It's still in the quite early stages of development and not ready for industry yet. And then you have the flip side, which is making the plastics themselves biodegradable. But both of those, because plastics are everywhere, like it's plastic on my laptop, my mouse, keyboard, like microphone, everything. Getting that transition over, it's one of those things that's going to take a long time, and it's trying to sustainably manage plastic production and plastic management in the meantime, really.